Welcome to the Global Speaker Advantage, the #1 podcast where your voice goes beyond borders. Hosted by Oliver Shum, international speaker and coach, this show is for speakers ready to grow influence, land paid gigs, and make a global impact. Tune in every Tuesday and Friday weekly for insights, interviews, and strategies to help you thrive on the world stage. Let's go global.
All right, we're live. Hey, everybody. Hey. Welcome. Once again, it's so exciting to be here in the studio with an amazing guest. Again, an amazing guest. So, Coach here, aka Irina Stanji, is an international speaker and she is joining us live from Canada. Coach Lear, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Oliver. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us today on this podcast. I'm very honored to be your guest today.
Cool. You sounded like a journalist and the co-podcast of this year. So pretty cool. And congratulations, great job for the work you're doing. And before we ride on, I want to appreciate my team, William, an amazing guy, and he's behind the screens, the camera, and making sure that we're live now. And I really want to give a half shout out to William for the great job he's doing, man. William, you're a great guy. So, Irene, what is your one word? Like, it's our culture to always inquire. What is the one word of ours? Dash, like, what is that word that keeps you alive? That word that summarizes your entire life. That word that when somebody hears the word, it sees you. What's your one word, Irene?
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. And ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, today the title of our podcast or the conversation we'll be having today is actually focused on becoming the unstoppable you. And I'm so excited that Irene herself, Coach Lear, is the unstoppable woman. And from today henceforth, I'll be calling you Unstoppable Leah. So, how do you feel?
Wow. Expressing my feelings, I want to say I'm on top of the world because I'm actually at the right place at the right time, doing the right things I was supposed to do at this particular point in the trajectory of my destiny. So I want to say I feel good. I feel grateful and excited about the opportunities that are ahead of me and about whatever challenges that are still to come that I'm gonna crush because I am eternally unstoppable.
I love that. And a shout out to our fans and followers, thousands around the world, and for those who are watching us from Singapore, from Europe, from Africa, from the United States. You are doing an amazing job. So wherever you are right now, if you're live, you're with us right now, even you're going to be watching us after, share this podcast. And of course, let us know what inspires you about the Global Speakers Advantage podcast. Let us know. And who do you think is the next global speaker that we should interview in the Global Speakers Advantage podcast? Let us know in the comment section. Feel free to share with your loved ones and friends wherever you're watching us from. So back to our guest. So Irene, you've been doing an amazing work. You're an author, you're a writer, you worked in the past as a journalist, you are a mom to amazing kids, and you are so resilient, So what kept you going despite the challenges that us as human beings would face in life on our pursuit to becoming the unstoppable us?
Thank you for that question, Coach Oliver. First of all, to be unstoppable, it means that you have a vision, right? My big why is building resilient mindsets, building, empowering, and helping people overcome and navigate limitations in life. That is whether it's in their corporate organizations, in their relationships, in their academics, their personal life, in every area of their life. Adversity doesn't care whether you're a CEO, a multimillionaire, or you're just a poor farmer in a village struggling to make ends meet. Adversity will always come. So the drive that I have, what keeps me going, is knowing that the world could be deprived of so many impactful, resourceful, and very positive individuals that can change the face of the systems of the world because of an adversity that they could not overcome. The fact that I could overcome mine, I know I'm a resource. I know I'm a blessing to this world. I know God created me to impact my world, to change the dynamics of the world, to bring positive energy around people, to help people out of challenges so that they can see value in themselves. If I did not overcome the challenges that I faced, imagine what would have happened today. I will not be a guest on your podcast today. I will not
Absolutely.
have the events that I'm having on the 31st of May coming up in Canada. I will not do all the great things, the books I've released, the music I've released, even supporting, helping people that are underprivileged in my own capacity. Imagine that. And that is just the tip of the iceberg of what I'm yet to do. Imagine that if I did not overcome challenges that came my way, the world would have been deprived of a person as myself. And that speaks to many other people doing greater, that have potentials to do even greater things than I've even done, being deprived of the world being deprived of these people because of one or two adversities. So I keep going because I have to make sure that I continue to fulfill my purpose of building people, sharing my stories, inspiring people, sharing the testimonies of my life, and helping them to also find their path, find their purpose, and
I
also
like
build
that.
resilience.
Thank you. Irene Asanji, Coach Lear, I've worked with you for some time. I listened to you deliver powerful keynotes. And last year, we were very privileged to have you here in the United States, in Minnesota, to be one of our guest speakers for the workshop we had, and you did a great job. And one thing I've observed personally about you is that you are responsible. You are such a responsible professional, and you're a responsible parent. And I really, really admire that quality of yours, and I love that. Looking at, you have amazing teenagers growing up, and right now we're having thousands around the world watching us live, and they'll be watching us even after this. If you have to go back to your 25 years life, 19 years young girl, what advice will you give yourself? And that goes directly out there to those teenagers and especially young girls and boys watching us around the world. What is that one advice, one, that you give yourself and stick to it?
The advice I'll give myself is find out what my purpose is as soon as possible and start living it unapologetically.
I love that.
Because
I love
sometimes we're shaped by society, we're shaped even by our upbringing, we're shaped by voices of other people trying to project their ideology into us, or trying to control what value they think we should see ourselves projecting. However, the real us, the real purpose that God called us and put inside of us may be lingering until we crash somewhere and then discover it. So my advice to young girl, that 19-year-old Irene, is that purpose that you want to pursue, find it, spend time to find it, and go for it no matter what.
Thank you. And this is so exciting. You realize that, growing up, in fact, in 2018, I wrote one of my first books, and the title of the book was, it was 25 things to do before you turn 30 years. By the time I wrote the book, I was kind of 29 years, kind of. So I talked about the concept in the book, and the concept was so powerful. I'm like, at the age of 18 years, 19 years, 20 years, 25 years, most of the things we want to do, we want to ask our parents, ask our uncles and aunties, our peers, our teachers, our whoever. And at times, when they tell us that we want to ask for validation for everything we want to do. And most of the time, when they say, no, this is not you, you feel like this is not something I can do, even if you have the capacity. And looking at it at 40 years, like, you don't care whoever says what you want to do, you want to go do it. Like, you go do it unapologetically. And at 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, you realize that at 19, at 18, at 25, those amazing dreams you had, the purpose you wanted to live, and you asked, and they were like, no, you can't do this, we don't do this kind of things in this part of the world, and all of that. You start to regret, I wish I could have lived my purpose. And most of the time it's late. Now, looking at that, you gave yourself the advice to live your purpose, and this is a couple of years up the line. Key onto it, Irene. Why is living your purpose on earth so important that Well, I'm not actually against the fact that children should not seek advice from guidance and parents and people. They should do that. But there are things that they will always tell you can't do that. And that was my case. They said I could not become a speaker. They said I did not even tell anybody I want to become a pilot because that was my secret dream. And eventually, I just dived into the pilot's training school without asking anybody because I knew this is something I had to do. Why is it important, Irene Asanji, for us to live our purpose on earth?
Purpose is actually important because God did not create junk. He created someone with value, and he was very intentional. When you identify your God-given purpose, you're not only feeling fulfilled, but you're also um, keeping God excited about the fact that he did not send someone who was misguided. When God looks at me, he smiles. Why? Because I am on it, right? If I had lived in this world doing something else, and then 70 years later, I find out that all what I was doing, maybe I was making 500 million a month, but I still don't feel fulfilled, it would be a tragedy. Dr. Miles Monroe says that the greatest tragedy in life is actually not death. It is a life lived without purpose, which means that death is not a tragedy. For me, that was a big thing. And he's one of my inspirations. For me to know that moving around, helping people, building people up, to build capacity, to build resilience, to shift their mindset so that they can also walk in their purpose. For me to know that I'm doing that at this point in time in my life, I am so fulfilled. I am so fulfilled. But if I did not do that, I'm not going to tell God that, oh, because my marriage failed, I was a single mom, I just had to look for a way to make ends meet. I couldn't really do that purpose thing. It wasn't really paying me as much as I wanted it. And all of that, God will not see that relevant. That will be an unnecessary excuse. But when you have a purpose and you're living it, everything around you falls in place. You feel so fulfilled. There was a time, I'll give you an example, that a lady read something I posted on my Facebook, and she reached out to me in my inbox and said, Irene, I was planning to kill myself on this day at this time, and this is how I was planning to do it. I read something you posted, and I went through your page. I read many more. I decided that I'll reach out to you. So you are going to be my last chance, whether I will determine if I should kill myself or not. I connected with her on Facebook. We spoke when I shared my story with her, and she could not believe that this person who is always so happy, so positive, had been through such tragic experiences in her life. And she felt like she had no reason to kill herself. And today, this lady is a married woman with 3 children, happily married and doing well. So imagine, on the other side of my hesitation to pursue my purpose, someone could have died. And that is one of many others that I've had to help through pursuing my purpose. Imagine on the other side of me denying who I was called to be, people are going astray. They're quitting. They feel like they have no value. Maybe the marriage failed. They feel like they can never be loved. They can never become anything. Maybe being a single mother like myself now with 2 children, after a failed relationship, I'll feel like there's no more hope for me. I should bury myself somewhere. I can't speak anywhere. I have no value. Because those are some of the lies that circumstances have told me. So fulfilling my purpose today is also creating a pathway for others to fulfill their purpose. I take this very personally.
Thank you. Irene, you have been in this journey for more than 15 years, and you are one of the most resilient women I've ever seen in my life. You are a true role model, not only to the world, but to your 2 teenagers. The question is, how do you want your children, Irene, to remember you when they have grown up as adults, even as of now? What legacy do you want to keep to your children?
I want to leave behind the legacy of my children to know that they cannot settle for less. When I found myself in a cold basement in 2011, sleeping on the floor with my newborn baby that was just 3.5 months old from a relationship, a marriage that did not work, and where I felt rejected and abandoned. I did not want my kids to see themselves as underprivileged. I fought to bring us out of that basement that was like a dungeon. It was like a basement in a basement. We were there for 3 years. And I kept telling myself, There's no basement after a basement. You can only go up.
Mm.
And we came out of that basement after 3 years. We continue to navigate limitations and challenges and hardship. But
Mm.
every time I told my children that I want you people to see a mother that fought to bring you up, a
Mm.
mother that will not just quit, because I had every good reason. As a matter of fact, I had every reason, and nobody would have judged me for
Mm.
just going somewhere, staying in some welfare place and just remaining there, never coming out to write a book or release a music or even become a speaker or anything of that nature, just settling
Mm.
there and receiving handouts from the government. And this, by all means, I'm not judging anyone in that situation. We all
Correct.
have different journeys. But I wanted my children to see that if they were to find themselves in a situation in future where something didn't work out, maybe in their relationships, or they're facing any form of hardship,
Mm.
the easy way out was not always the best way out. They can build resilience and come out and make something out of their life. I'm teaching my son to be a responsible father. If tomorrow relationship crisis meets him and his wife, it is not always, he should not always abandon his wife and the children and disappear. I'm teaching
Mm.
my daughter to know that if things happen like this, you can still love your kids and raise them and give them your best, because
Mm.
God gave those children to you as a mother. And when he gives the children, he gives the provision. One
Mm.
way or the other, but you have to do something for God to bless. You have to bring out, because at the time of adversity inside of you, your building capacity is a very fertile opportunity for you to
Mm.
build the resilience that you need so you can grow. You can turn
Mm.
your pain into purpose and spread it
Mm.
out for many people who don't have the courage to turn their pain into purpose. And at
Mm.
the same time, you can turn every lemon into lemonade. For me, it was beyond turning lemon into lemonade. I'm teaching
Mm.
my children that you can actually create a lemonade factory and many other people can drink from it, not just
I love that.
lemonade that you can drink. So for
You know,
me, that is what I'm teaching my kids.
great. You know, when you're talking, Irene Asanye, I'm having, essentially speaking, I'm having goosebumps now listening to you. Your message is so genuine, authentic, so life transformational. I read a post from Facebook just a couple of minutes before we dive into this interview session. And it was so inspiring that I just had to screenshot it. And here's what the dude says: nobody watches you harder than people who doubted you. Give them a good show. There are people who doubted you, Irene. There are people who believe that maybe you could not image to live your dreams, to become the unstoppable, transformational, international speaker you are, an author. And right now, a lot of people fail in life too because they do not want to forgive the past. People have hurt you in the past. Maybe you also have hurt people in the past. People hurt me in the past. I've hurt people in the past. But one thing for me, I've learned to forgive everybody and anyone who ever hurt me, and that's been one of my superpowers to soar to skies and beyond. What message do you have to share with people who are watching right now, stuck in their mediocratic life, in their mediocrity, stuck in average, stuck in poverty, stuck in unforgiveness, stuck in the life that they have never dreamed to see themselves live because of unforgiveness? Why is forgiveness important? And why must we forgive in order to achieve our dreams?
Thank you very much. I actually have a manuscript I'm working on forgiveness, interestingly, and that's a big thing. I want to tell you something. Forgiveness, as I say, is like drinking poison and wishing someone else is going to drop dead. Forgiveness is actually not for the other person, it's for you. You see, because you can't be dwelling and ruminating on the offense that someone inflicted on you while that person is not even thinking about you.
Mm.
And you could be stuck in years upon years upon years of stagnation because you're unforgiving, or maybe you're waiting for someone to come and say, I'm sorry. That will never come. The best way to live your life is to pre-approve people for forgiveness before they offend you. That's how I live. I understand offenses will always happen. It may be from me, it may be from someone else. So I pre-approve people for forgiveness before they even afflict me with forgiveness. And at the
Mm.
same time, if I offend people, I do the needful to make sure that it doesn't go beyond 24 hours, that I do not find a way. If I have access to these people to say I'm sorry or find a way to make it work. And sometimes I get names like that girl, they say the back friend, or in pidgin, they will
Mm.
say it's like you don't have esteem or you don't have pride, you don't, why will you be going out to? But sometimes even people that have hurt me, I find a way to reinitiate conversations with them because I
Mm.
know it's gonna work together for my good. It is a
Mm.
big principle. If God who sent his son to die for me, I'm a Christian, first of all, for those that are watching, I don't hide it and I don't apologize about it.
Mm.
Jesus forgave me even before I committed my first sin. Who am
Mm.
I to hold grudges against anyone? It is only for my good. Because if I was unforgiving, I would not be here today. I would have probably been a mental case because I fought with depression in that basement. I struggled to take my head above sea level where I was almost drowning and in all kind of pain and shame and rejection. And at the same time, dealing with a newborn baby and a toddler son. All of that, if I do not forgive, I will not be the mom that I am today, raising two amazing kids. If I do not forgive, I will not even have a message. Nobody will even be interested in hearing anything from me because I will not be relevant. I will not even be here because
Mm.
forgiveness is
That's
bitter. It's like a cancer. I'm not going to be able to smile. You know me, I'm always smiling. I'm always dancing, not because I'm faking it. It's from inside. You can't fake these things. You can't make them up. So it is
absolutely.
important to forgive the people that you've had transgressions with, you've had issues with, or that have offended you. Forgive no matter how critical the crime is. And I can't teach anyone to forgive. This is something that you have to be intentional about. I can only
Mm.
preach it, but if you do not apply it yourself and do it, no one else away, right? It will become your purpose while your purpose is suffering. Forgiveness and unforgiveness can actually become your purpose. And imagine that kind of purpose that goes to nowhere, only ends in destruction. But if you forgive, your purpose becomes clear. There is clarity. It opens your
Mm.
path. You become lovable. You become attractive. And you love life. You want to live. But you
Mm.
realize that bitter people, all their messages are always about bitterness. And you
Mm.
can see forgiveness even without looking. Even a
Mm.
blind man can see forgiveness because it's up, yes, without looking, without eyes. So
Cool.
when you forgive, believe me, you are doing the best that you could ever do for yourself. And that's just a starting point to take you to
Thank you,
the
Irene.
highest level possible.
I love that. The Global Speakers Advantage podcast is having what we call the Global Speakers podcast wall of fame, and uh, you know we actually we the people we interview here, we don't interview everybody. We interview people who are shaking and moving countries and lives in nations. And going through your background to check you before we interview you, you just learn a lot of things about you. And Irene, you've spoken in different countries, and next month you'll be speaking here in our event Purpose Conference in Dallas, Texas. And at the same time, you are having an event in Canada, and this event is coming up on the 31st of May this month. Like, we're talking about a few days to go.
Right.
And why do you think someone listening to us right now from Canada, in whatever part of the country, should take a flight, book a flight, pay the ticket to be part of this event?
Wow. 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 Thank you for that opportunity to talk about Unleash the Unstoppable You. This event has been a deep event in my spirit since last year. It was not just overnight. This is an event where um, it's going to be an opportunity to meet people one on one, meet people in their element, meet people in their readiness to receive strategies, tips, information, and impartation that will take them to different trajectories in their life. It's an event that is focused on building resilience and purpose so that people can overcome every limitation in every area of their life and fulfill their purpose. As you already know, I'm very particular and I'm very big on resilience. So that'll be an event where I'll be sharing a groundbreaking. You've been privy to listen to that framework before. The 6 C's framework on resilience and purpose, which is a pathway to success at all areas of life, whether you are a multi-million CEO or you're a startup business owner or you're just an individual that wants to find their way and path in life. The 6 C's framework was carefully prepared and packaged to help every individual who attends that event to go back and think differently. If they think they're succeeding, to go back and scale again differently. If they think they're failing, to go back and revisit their blueprints and redo and reinvent their relevance and impact. Become bold, fearless, audacious, and unstoppable in every aspect of their life. There will be no excuse to fail. There will be no opportunity to fail after attending this event. So that is also going to be an opportunity where we're going to be sharing strategies. You're actually one of the speakers as well, and I'm honored to have you leading one of the training sessions on resilience. And that will be a place where we're not just going to come to learn. It's a kind of a conference, a summit like never before, where we also have entertainment, we have networking, we have amazing other business owners that will be there, and people that are just going to come to be part of a conference where they can feel the difference between other places where they've been before. They're going to have sumptuous meals and drinks and all of that for just a small package. I'm not going to talk about the price of the link, but I'm going to say that those that are going to attend that event, whether you're flying, this will be the most valuable trip that you ever decided to make, to invest in yourself. I want to say you should say yes to your dreams. Coming to that event is another way of saying I want to say yes to my dreams, yes to loving me and putting me first, yes to putting my purpose first, yes to putting my vision first, and yes to giving myself the opportunity to confirm that this is the right place to be, because truly it is.
I love that. Yes, truly it is. My dear friend, so happy. We believe so much in miracles. I'm a man of faith. We believe in miracles, and this could just be the miracle you've been looking for. I feel like telling my friend here in the studio, William, let's fly to Canada together for this conference. You know, it's going to be life changing. And again, where can somebody grab a ticket for this event? Is there any platform where tickets are sold, where if somebody is especially in Canada, in the United States, he or she can grab a ticket, or any part of the world to be part of this?
Yes, I actually just dropped, for those that are watching this live, I actually dropped the link where they register on the live stream on your Facebook page. But you can actually visit my website, www.talktoleahcoaching.com, and you'll see our upcoming events. You're going to see there is a place there where you just click and you can select your category. We have VIP categories and we have regular categories, and that can give you the opportunity to choose the one you want. And even for sponsors, we're open to sponsors. People that want to give visibility to their businesses, we have packages to give you that opportunity to showcase your business. Come there, sponsor the event, and get connected, so people can also see the things, the products and services that you offer. We do have that opportunity as well. And of course, you can always reach me on 289-233-0118. That's my number, and we can discuss through WhatsApp on how I can make you a valuable part of this event, or how you can come in and also benefit from what we're about to offer on the 31st of May right here in Brampton, Ontario, Toronto, Canada.
Cool. So, dear friend, Irene is top international speaker. Irene is not only going to be speaking in Canada, she has spoken in the US, and she's speaking in the US again next month in Dallas, Texas at our upcoming Purpose Conference. So if you are planning an event any part of the world, in Canada, in the United States, and you're looking for a transformational keynote speaker, workshop facilitator on resilience, being unstoppable, I would recommend you think about Irene Assanji, aka Coach Leah, because I've worked with her and she's one of the best in the field. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much, Coach Leah, for coming. We were so honored and glad to have you here in our Global Speakers Advantage podcast. And for those who have watched, and for those who are still to be watched, make sure you listen to this, make sure you learn, make sure you're inspired, and make sure you take action, because it's not going to make sense if you just listen and you don't take action. Make sure you take action. And if you're thinking about grabbing a ticket for Irene's event in Canada, this is the perfect time to get a ticket. And of course, I will also share the link even on the comment section after this live show. And I bet you will not regret picking a ticket. And that was it for today. Thank you for watching once again. This was the Global Speakers Advantage podcast, and I was your host, Oliver Shom. Today my guest was Irene Assanji, aka Coach Leah. And stay inspired. It was a wonderful flight together with you, and take action. Of course, we're looking forward to see you again on Friday for the next coming podcast. We're going to be live again, and wish you a wonderful rest of the day. And that was it for today, even as we close the curtains of this conversation. Once again, Irene, thank you, and remain blessed and remain unstoppable you. And bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye for now.
Bye.